All right, here we are. Round one of Tuesday Modern Action.
Hot! Modern action.
Hot Modern.
Gosh, we got two exceptional players.
Yeah, we've got Kyle Koeppe testing out his green-black rock deck. Jund with a little more streamlined mana base.
Yeah, I hope it works for him. I'm excited about a very...
I am very much on board with this.
Okay.
Like, he and I, last week, were, like, theory crafting this deck together.
Uh-huh.
Very exciting stuff.
And I think against this Affinity deck, we're going to see Kyle really beat up on it.
Oh, he's going to beat it up?
The way Joey builds his Affinity decks is they're very susceptible to well-timed removal.
All right, cranial plating right off the bat.
He plays the what's it? Gosh, I can't think of the name of the card. Soul Artifact.
Soul Artifact.
And that card just creates a lot of blowouts.
All right, so Kyle knows he's out of gas. He's representing push here, which is pretty solid.
If Joey plays well here, he can play around the push.
That's not playing well.
That's that's. I would attack him any. You know what I mean? I would attack him. Oh, okay. See, yes. What he's done is.
I just want to push the Inkmoth Nexus here.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a pulse in hand. So you can pulse the cranial plating. He's getting no action.
Oh, it's 5 actually, battle cry. Okay, yeah. 7. Forgot that was a card for a second.
Ooh, this is we got Liliana of the Veil. So
Yeah,
Liliana of the Veil, he sacks the Ornithopter, and then the Inkmoth Nexus fires up, and then the turn after that you push the, or you pulse the plating.
Yeah, seems pretty strong.
Very interesting here. Or we're just gonna.
Lily sack a creature. All right.
And if Joey wants to take down this Liliana, it's like taking a whole turn off, and that really opens Kyle up to a lot of action.
All right, we've got a judge call here. I don't know what this is about.
So, how much? The old Jund decks, they had 4 bolts, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
3 terminates.
3 to 4.
3 to 4 terminates.
Depending on the format. 2 to 4 actually, but yeah.
2 to 4. We'll say 3 on average.
Okay.
A murderous cut, right?
No, Murder's Cut was not in traditional Jund. Kolaghan's command was.
Kolaghan's command.
Like a one of Kolaghan's command.
So you'd have like 8 to 10 removal spells.
Oh, in like traditional Jund?
Yeah.
So you would run a play set of bolts. Do you want to count Liliana as a removal spell?
Oh, sure. I guess she counts.
You're on a play set of Lilianas usually. Sometimes you run 3.
Here's the pulse on the cranial plating.
On average, we said 3 terminates, 1 to 2 abrupt decays, usually 1 pulse.
Okay.
So we're just chock full of removal. Just the whole.
Oh, I was missing the abrupt decays.
Yeah.
So my thing with this green-black rock deck is you're missing out on bolt, but you pick up the removal spells and push. So do we hold at the number of removal spells, or do we lose like 1 or 2?
I think you're at the same amount of removal spells depending on how you play it. So
and Joey drew a 3rd cranial plating here.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing that.
Yeah, that Ghost Quarter is going to be a big game here.
Right. Ooh, here's a big game. Now, this is a card that can really put him back in this. Now, he can gain 2 life here. Well, he can gain 1 life, sack the Verdant Catacombs, and gain another life. So he can put himself to 2 and make the Ooze a 4/4
And so this Memnite is a 1/1 plus 1, 2, 3 currently. 4.
Yeah, so the Memnite's gonna die, or gonna kill the ooze either way.
So I probably just want to. Well,
Oh,
you
no,
eat
no, no,
two.
no, no. Oh, I guess he can't. I guess the Ghost Quarter, the Ink Moth doesn't matter here.
No, I mean it's nice because it's a threat. I know he's got a forest. If he wants to fetch for it now, that's probably the right call.
Yeah,
But
he's basically daring Joey to move this cranial plating. Oh gosh.
Bob, any cost,
At any cost.
greatness. So Bob's doing a great job of holding on the fort, as opposed to like just instantly dying.
Right. Yep. And here we're gonna see a. Yep. The quarter. Gosh. There's the one. Holy smokes.
I'm not gonna attack my Memnite into it and give it to him.
I think he's got a collective brutality in hand. Oh man, that's nice here.
I just want to read.
You're good. I gotta figure out what we're doing too. So we're not having you discard cards.
All right, so Kyle's gonna gain 2 life here,
Yeah, gaining 2 life
And-
is going to be huge.
and the Memnite is gonna die.
And then we're gonna target. We're gonna choose targets here.
You might want to hit Train Ball.
I'm not gonna hit my own ball. This one's gonna discard.
I think he has to leave his own Bob alive.
Drains him for 2, so Joey should be at 18.
316.
16 now.
And the Ink Moth Nexus is going to get pushed here. Man,
It should.
This is so interesting. Joey's really drawn a lot of action.
A lot of cranial platings, specifically.
Right, and that's one of the things about this Affinity deck is that.
All right, Bob, don't. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Play Ornithopter. Sure. I'm done Soul on the Springleaf drum.
Okay, well if you got the Soul, man. Like,
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
In Soul on the
his
Springleaf
Soul
drum.
Artifact, which is one of the cards I thought was a liability in this matchup.
Gives him a haster, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Really, the all-star there was top decking the 3rd cranial plating.
Concur.
Can deal with 1.
So
can kind
Kyle-
of deal with 2.
I don't know if Kyle's on 4 Abrupt Decays in the main, but
I think he's got like 2. I think he's got 3 abrupt decays and 2 maelstrom pulses.
yeah. But you definitely have to go up to the full 4 here.
No, he doesn't run any more on the sideboard.
I think it's one of the premium removal spells.
So the big thing that Kyle's going to be bringing out of the board here,
Uh-huh.
probably the 3rd Sphinx is solid.
Yep.
A Knight of Soul's Betrayal, which we've gone over, is really good here.
Yeah, we've talked about that
And
card.
a Creeping Corrosion.
Oh yeah, we got one of those.
We got a Creeping Corrosion that can come out of the board.
With the amount of removal in this rock deck, I
That's a
think
corner of hope, man.
Creeping
Yeah.
Corrosion could make a
Hit
big
if they
impact.
push in a land.
I definitely agree. I think Creeping Corrosion is going to be huge.
Because you're living more turns than the Affinity deck typically gives you.
Right.
If you're like a red deck and you just bring in Shatterstorm on 4
Yeah.
and you don't have anything else to like really interact with them, that's not a plan.
No. I like Vandal Blast more than Shatterstorm anyway.
Yeah, I wanted
Same
a comparative,
same principle.
I wanted a card with the same converted mana cost.
Okay. The alternative, Kyle and I were actually debating this last week, whether we wanted a singleton Creeping Corrosion or a singleton Fracturing Gust.
Ooh, Fracturing Gust is a heck of a card.
But again, that's 1 more.
Right, one more turn. Yeah, I think as he plays the deck and refines it more,
Mhm.
he'll discover whether or not he can afford the Fracturing Gust.
Absolutely.
Um,
I don't know if there's been any
I'm not
like really
really
good spikes.
paying attention.
Affinity, on the other hand,
To the standard stuff.
you want to take out your more fragile cards, and you want to bring in. I think Joey brings in counter spells like Spell Pierce.
Okay. Spell Pierce is pretty solid.
Um, it allows you to solidify your advantage. So those are the kind of things you want.
Okay.
To do is.
How do you feel about Edge Champion here?
Yeah, that's traditionally a good card against like these heavy removal deck.
You wouldn't be able to get rid of them in time. You could only make like $100.
Seems bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. The buyouts have to go up more than like 400% to matter. And they have to be like something that you really like. It has to be like Smuggler's Copper. It's like it went from 2 to 10, stayed at 10. Like that's the kind of like thing where it'd be worth it. Just like buy out like a SRAM or something and it goes up to like $40, it's just not worth it.
So,
I feel like you had to get in at
with
the track.
Kyle on the play here, I think he's
Full fair one.
in a little bit better position going into this game.
Like a year ago. All this stuff went up.
Not hitting triple cranial plating or just ripping like the one right off the top, that operative turn
Yeah.
was a huge deal. I think even if he draws it a turn later, like it's a highly
Right.
different game.
Sure.
As for Joey, like his hand wasn't amazing. Like it was good and then it had like it matched up well against what Kyle had.
Right. And the triple cranial plating is really what iced the cake.
Right.
But the initial 7 was not
Not overly
was not a
impressive.
premium hand.
No. So I mean, he can definitely draw a better hand as well.
I'll be on the play. Okay.
All right.
Let's see how this plays out in game 2.
I'll keep this hand.
Kyle's keeping. He's got a scavenging ooze. That could do a lot of work at stabilizing him.
Yep. Now this is a premium opener for Affinity. Turn 1 Ravager.
Still has 3 cards in hand. Ugh.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that can get out of hand very quickly. I think if Kyle has a good removal spell here.
It doesn't look like he does. I think I see a Murderous Cut and a Damnation.
I'm a fan of just running out the ooze here then, because if you put the ooze out there, Joey's going to be required to commit the rest of his hand.
Oh, there's a Goyf as well.
Okay, here's a
Yeah.
Goyf. That's
Ooze is very, very good post-Damnation here.
right. So great sequencing there on
Most money I've ever spent.
on Kyle's part. If he has Damnation, ooze is the correct follow-up.
Yeah. Also interesting here, if Joey grows his Ravager, it also grows the Tarmogoyf because there's no creature or artifact in the graveyard right now.
Sure.
Blasting it anyway.
Oof. Oh man. This is so brutal. Just take 5 to the teeth there like that.
That's actually not terrible for him. Obviously 5 is a lot of damage,
Right.
but it could have been much, much worse.
Sure. Kyle's just keeping this Damnation in the front of his hand. Like, you can tell
Yeah, he just needs to get
He's-
to Damnation.
he's preoccupied with it. Fatal pushing the Ornithopter here is humongous. There's just any one of the removals. This is my thing, is that like I don't know what he's gonna do here.
So he could neg 2 the Ravager and duress him, and then if he puts the counters on the Ornithopter, he now has enough to delve for the Murderous Cut to kill the Ornithopter.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh, wow, I love it. I love that line. That's a great, great play.
It's discarding its sorcery.
Oh! I got my galvanic dice.
Yeah, so you have a skirt.
Alright, so he's a Vault Screw. Joey, he actually gets a card out of that. That's huge.
That is huge.
There's not a lot of targets in this Affinity deck.
Oh, they got.
Oh, how would you respond?
Yeah, I had a response. I was going to do the Arkham Rapture stuff, but I just showed you my hand. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I do that? Does it matter to you? It's gone, I guess. You got
So
it.
you sack the like sack your shit. I guess that's fine.
No, it dies.
Okay.
It still has a counter on it.
Okay.
It still has a counter on it.
Right, alright. Yeah, so there's not a lot of targets in this Affinity deck, not a lot of instants or sorceries for him
Right.
to force him to discard.
I think there's more in Joey's deck than the traditional.
Right, but to gain a card there from Kyle is
Attack into the kill spell. That right there is why it was better.
Yep. Murder's Cut takes care of the Ornithopter, and the Vault Scourge is left.
And man, Kyle has maneuvered this hand masterfully.
Yeah, he's got a ton of life left.
And
Here's Bob.
a Bob.
Yeah, he's gonna start trading like 1 point for 2 points on Joey. Perfect.
That's exactly what you want out of your Bob. To deal you 0 damage. As long as possible.
Yep, here's a Goyf. Here's a yeah, oh yeah. Now he's ready to mop it up. This damnation is just an insurance policy at this point.
Absolutely. He's still a little bit susceptible to cranial plating off the top.
A little bit, but I think he's just.
Voice is a instant art.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And we will eat the Ornithopter. 3, 7, 9.
Is the wait a minute? Is the Goyf still 4 if we eat the Ornithopter? Is there still a creature
Yeah, there's a
down there?
Ravager in there still.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the
Here's a plating.
here's a 5-point life swing.
5, 6, 5. Yes, it is.
A 12-point life swing.
Holy smokes!
I was at 13. I took 6.
All right.
5, didn't you?
Huge deal. Push is good
No
here.
big deal. No big deal because we got this push now.
But that big chunk of life can be a big deal because this Bob is still active.
Go to 7, 4, 8, 10. Push to 7.
All right, so he's got the lethal attack next turn, and I don't think Kyle's playing any 7-drops in his deck. There's no
There are no 7 drops. Doesn't quite have lethal. The
right.
dismember seals the deal here.
Yep, there we go. Nice.
Remember, did I just win? No. Paid for it.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's how Kyle wants these games to go. He
Oh, yeah.
wants his removal spells to let him hang on until he can establish this insane board presence. And I think so. Tarmogoyf is obviously the best 2-drop creature in the format if you're just looking for size.
Sure.
But I think in this green-black deck, it's critical. Like the deck wouldn't exist if Tarmogoyf didn't exist
Right.
because it's so big and it closes the game out so fast.
Right. Yeah. I definitely
Whereas a deck like Jund could totally exist without Tarmogoyf.
agree.
I mean, obviously Tarmogoyf's like the nut,
The cornerstone of that deck. It's tough,
the
but
cornerstone.
yeah, it's so the
You're telling me that you would not play a 3-color removal based deck if you didn't have Tarmogoyf?
I wouldn't play green.
All right, I had to think about that before I responded, but I can see where you might say that.
Right. I mean, I would just play Grixis instead. Is kind of where I'm at.
Oh sure. Oh yeah, you just play Tasigur, I guess.
Yeah.
If
Tasigur.
Tarmogoyf got banned tomorrow, Tasigur would be worth $8.
$8 has
What's
been
Tasigur
announced.
worth right now?
I would say $4.
I'll take the over. Tasker the Golden Fang. $3 out of stock, so basically 12.
It's basically 12, so you win. You got it. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, honestly, Tassiger's pretty good right now. He dodges Fatal Push, which is a huge part of this metagame all of a sudden. Kyle keeping his 7. Joey mulligan 6. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, this Affinity deck is a deck, quote-unquote, mulligans well.
Right.
In that you don't necessarily need, like last game we saw, Joey couldn't empty his hand fast enough.
Right.
So, like, you can have a 5-card hand that has all the pieces necessary to really put up do the thing the deck's trying to do.
Right. The extra card matters a lot more against these removal heavy decks, but
Oh, yeah, for sure.
if you get the threats that match up well against his removal, then it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think
Ooh, this hand.
modern is a mulligan format, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think a deck that mulligans well has advantages.
How do you feel about this hand?
I think there's a Spellskite in there.
Spellskite, Mox Opal, Memnite.
Yeah, I can get
Ravager.
down with some of these cards. All right. He had the one Glimmer Void. That card always made me nervous. I mean, I think it's a necessary evil in these.
Yeah, being able to play this Ravager on turn 2 or on turn 1 would have been huge.
Yeah, if it was any artifact lane, it would just be insane.
Yeah.
If you could play 8 Darksteel Citadels, this deck would be completely unfair. Gets him for 1.
The clock has begun.
Here's my favorite thing about these two players. They are playing a snappy game of Magic.
Oh yeah, they both know
They
their
are-
decks very well.
They are not messing around.
Hissing Quagmire. How do you feel about Hissing Quagmire in this deck?
I think it's awesome that Kyle gets to play all these green-black lands. Here is Etch Champion, which we know gets taken care of by... I would push the Spellskite here. Nope. All right.
I think he's doing the math and he just knows that he can survive until he gets this damnation.
Correct. Yeah, the Etch Champion gets eaten by Damnation, so it's not even a big deal.
Right.
Trying, real trying here. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. Like, he could have played another Hissing Quagmire
Oh, to keep the
so that he had the damnation next turn. But, I mean, he's only taken 3 here. That's not the end of the world.
Man, part of me wants to like go for the gusto and get this. If you get the Mox Opal off the board, then when you Damnation his Glimmer Voids die,
Yeah.
that really puts it in him. Doesn't Golgari Charm have a Destroy an Artifact mode? Or it's a Destroyed
destroyed
Enchantment?
enchantment, Negwa the board, or regenerate all your
team.
creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this damnation is just going to shut him down. Like, this is not going to be good for him.
Right. Of course, Joey's representing counter magic here.
That's definitely true. I don't know if you play around that, though. I mean, I guess he is.
Alright. Block this Hissing Quagmire on your...
I think it's a
Memnite.
black and green creature, so it can't block the...
Right, it
Etch
cannot
Champion.
block the Etch Champion, but it can definitely take down this Memnite. And then if the Fatal Push takes down the Spellskite, it opens up removal options on the Etch Champion.
Yeah, I don't know if that's better than just dropping a damnation there, if that is what's in his hand.
Yeah, I think Kyle might not be entirely wrong to be playing around removal spells here. Or, I'm sorry, counter spells here, but this Etch champion no longer has Metalcraft. It once again has Metalcraft. um, yeah, I think Kyle's gonna take. He's gonna eat some creatures.
You can eat one.
Eat a creature, but yeah. There you go.
So we can fire up this treetop village.
Yeah, and still have. That'll do. 6 it is.
Yeah, 6
Yeah,
is
so now
enough
we're
of a
racing
clock
6 to 2.
Yeah.
And Kyle comes out ahead on that math. In case anybody is, I'm not particularly mathematically inclined, but I've played enough Magic
Sure.
that I can figure out a race when I see one.
Looks like Joey's drawn some action that could change this race.
Yeah, that's where Kyle
Galvanic Blast.
needs to be careful. Galvanic Blast is a big deal. I would have eaten another creature there with my Scavenging Ooze at the end of the turn.
Probably, but he was worried about the blast in response, which is smart.
Here's the thing: if he wanted to blast you in response,
Yeah.
he does it anyway. You only had 1 green up.
Oh, sure.
No, it's
8
11-8.
8. 11 8.
Yeah.
All right, so we had the...
We had the life totals. You're gonna adjust them a little bit here. Joey's
There
at
we go.
11. Kyle's at 8.
very
God,
dangerous position.
and I feel like
Oh,
we're
wow,
seeing
that's a really good
yeah,
top deck.
that's a great one here. With Joey holding back his hand this way, Inquisition just makes a big difference.
And Joey doesn't have Metalcraft.
Blast you for 2 in response.
Yeah, so he's got to fire this Galvanic Blast off for 2.
Trick.
Trick Bind.
Counter targets activated or triggered.
And Joey has, I mean, plays with only the fanciest of cards.
Yeah, you just get Trick Bind here.
Yeah, take Trick Bind because the Mox Opal doesn't do anything.
Yeah, sorry. Guess I had to actually take a spell. You're good. Village. 3.
Here's Treetop Village coming across for 3.
8 6, Jake.
And Scavenging Ooze has been replaced.
Yep,
I think he's representing lethal here.
agreed. So it's 5 with just the Treetop Village activation, and then he has to +3 his Scavenging Ooze.
And he has the 1, 2, 3.
Does he have 3? And there's got to be 3 creatures down there.
Yeah, there's Ravager, Memnite, Etch Champion, and Spellskite.
All right.
So that's 5 plus 3.
Activate Treetop Village.
Xaxes. Very nice.
Yeah,
Well
so that
navigated.
Treetop Village finish was something we haven't seen out of Kyle's deck in the previous 2 games, but it made a huge difference. I mean, it let him close out a game that otherwise he didn't necessarily have a stranglehold on yet.
Definitely. We saw the strength of Manlands, and Manlands have traditionally been very strong in these mid-range rock-type decks.
Yep.
Not as good as Raging Ravine, but still a pretty sizable creature.
Yeah, it gets the job done.
Not as big a fan of these Hissing Quagmires, but
I just like playing around.
Here's the thing.
gotta do what you gotta do.
I was talking to somebody about them, and I was like, man, these things seem small compared to the old Manlands. The old Manlands are just sized so much bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
And their point was, people would play them if they became 1/1s, because they're just inherently better than, like, a Guild Gate.
Yeah.
And so, I think you play it regardless. You would play it if it became a 1/1. You might
Hissing
not play.
Quagmire?
Yeah, you would play any of them if they became just a 1/1 for like 2.
Oh, sure. So the thing with this is we're playing Hissing Quagmires at the cost of playing a 4th Ghost Quarter, which I really want the 4th Ghost Quarter in there.
Yeah, I guess we didn't talk about the Ghost Quarter implications of taking red out of the Jund deck.
Right.
That Ghost Quarter becomes very usable.
Oh, yeah. And it makes you better against Blood Moon.
Yep.
Even though you're taking red out of your deck is a little counterintuitive, but
Sure.
you get to run more basics. So just very, very interesting stuff overall. I'm excited to see how this green-black rock deck performs for the rest of the tournament and going forward in Modern. I definitely like it.
This is going to be one to watch here on Tuesday nights.
Yes, indeed.
We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes for more Modern action. Maybe we'll find another one to watch.
There you go.